Hi, I'm Dr. Bertice Berry, and I want to tell you a story. A woman recently questioned why I live here and why I love it here in Savannah, Georgia, in the United States of America. And she told me about a place that she felt was much more inclusive and much more embracive. It's not far from here, and she wondered why I didn't choose that place instead of this one. I said I'd visited there, but I didn't find it embracing. I didn't find a sense of belonging. And she said, well, inside I did. And it's much, much more inclusive. And, I wanted to point out that the word inclusion means something you have to cut out. Or at least, at the very least, something that needs to be included in what it already pays taxes to. Um, so she was like, well, no, it's much, much more. I said, I actually found it, I experienced a great deal of overt racism when I was there and experienced a lot of classism. And sometimes you can't see the classism, but it can be just as bad. She was like, oh, I didn't find that. And I don't understand why you found that. And she was looking at me like I was dumb. And I said, all due respect, which when you hear, you know you're going to feel disrespected. How would you know? I said, how would you know? She said, what do you mean? Well, I'm this and I've done that. I said, you're a white woman. How would you know? And a wealthy one. Toni Morrison once said, it is the task of the oppressed to teach the oppressor. Now, I will admit that when I heard that in the 80s, I was angry with Madame Morrison. I was angry. I was like, why we always got to teach them? And why? And then it occurred to me that nobody could tell our story but us. But that's exactly what's been happening. People have been telling us how we feel. They have been turning phrases like, you know, aggression and racism into things like microaggression. Like, he hit me with a hammer, but it was a little one. What? 1,000 times in one day. We allow the phrase implicit bias, which means it's obvious, but nobody's saying it out loud, to unconscious bias. It's buried so deeply I didn't even know I was doing it. And the folks who are writing the programs and the licensing the information about the 5 pillars of diversity don't live that much diversity. When I said to her, how would you know? It was obvious that no one had ever asked her that. It was also obvious that she'd been going around telling black and brown people where they should be and what they should do and how this is better than that, and that she could decide for them. And no one had challenged her. And I didn't think it was much of a challenge until I thought about how many times I don't say anything. I'm going to come up with a term for the number of times we don't say anything. And then maybe you'll understand that your unconscious is really just unchecked. We are going to get there, but it is, the responsibility. And lately I'm hearing from, my white friends are saying, but that's too much burden on you. We can't put the burden on you. No. Just like a good teacher, you point it out. And like a good student, you go do the research. I don't sit there holding your hand, reading the book to you, doing all the research. Not just, you might want to look at this. And then we look at it and we grow. because there's a whole lot of stuff that I've had to learn from white folks, like which plantation my black folks were on. I love you. And we're so going to get there. And by the way, that plantation was owned by an abolitionist. I love you.